All right, so I want to carry on now and build our ICO contract here. So I've taken our existing tutorial token and I've added on one new method here called start sale. Takes in two integers. That's going to be the start block and the end block. And all this does is make sure that the owner called this method. It makes sure that the input is valid, so the contract end is less than or equal to the contract start, although setting the end and the start to be the same, a little odd, but that's pretty minor. We then record those, and I'm doing a runtime.notify at the end just to let the client consuming code know that the start sale was recorded. I also put this little method in here instead of just coding it all live of checking it, right? So we pull out the start sale and end sale value, we get the current block and make sure that the current block is between the start and end. So now the big question is, how do we accept or reject this funds? Well, there is a concept in Neo Smart Contracts called triggers. So if we go runtime trigger equals trigger type verification. So a verification trigger is going to happen on the client. So the client's going to take this contract and run the code that's in between here before it sends any funds. Now, this is optional. The client does not have to run this. Most clients do now. Neon does. NeoPython does. The NeoGUI does not, though. And we're going to run into the stumbling block here fairly quickly, so just keep that in mind. So what I'm going to do return is sale open. So here it's going to return true or false if the sale is open. So let's say we're using Neon as a client, we're trying to send funds to this contract. It's going to run this code first and say it's going to return back false because the sale is closed. And so it will never send the funds. But we're going to put an else in here. Trigger type application. Doesn't like me here. Maybe if I put an else if in there. And then I'm going to put an else in I cannot type today. Unsupported trigger type. So verification is going to run before any funds are sent optionally. The application trigger is what normally was happening. We just weren't checking for it before when we wrote our NEP5 token, but now we're going to have some different logic here. So we've got the application trigger. So this happens, the Neo has been sent along with a command to run. So we can attach Neo and say run the name method. That's going to run into this application and then it'll run name, and we will actually have Neo then in our contract here. So you can, maybe you can see the issue already is that if a client just sends Neo and doesn't run this verification trigger, it can actually run into here and we can actually get the funds. So we're going to write a check into here Actually, I'm going to put it up here. And we are going to handle that in a little bit here. The other thing I want to cover here is your KYC requirements here. So you may have something like if not is sale open. But at this point now the sale is open. Is KYC verified? Or actually we could just go, oh my goodness, return. I'm totally lagging out here in my Visual Studio. So if we had a KYC method, we could call into that here. So I would just want to leave it at that. I wanted to give you kind of a quick intro, let you digest the different application and verification triggers. Next, we'll go into, we'll implement this KYC method. So I will see you in the next video.